What do you make of
Well
this
done,
announcement?
Aliou Cisse, for a very good job in the interview, and the way he pushed back in some of the instances, I really appreciate. So, we've had the interview. The president, where I have seen some improvements in the president's use of figures and statistics, especially when he was talking about inflation. A lot of the things which he was saying, obviously, he gave figures about how bad inflation was, 18% sometime last year, which is all true. That shows you that the president is now doing some homework. I'm sure maybe he might have got some of these questions even before, so he could have been well prepared to answer some of these questions. So, but you can see that the president is getting more comfortable with his engagement and with the way he is speaking and all of that, and I think that's where I will give him his credit. But there are a number of issues I have, especially with the issue of the term limits, which you talked about. The president said, me and my brother were talking about that, and even though we had a heated previous conversation, we agree on a number of things. We try to avoid, Lamin, you've brought a topic which you know me and he will not agree on.
Okay,
but there are many topics that we will agree on.
That's okay.
So, which is the issue of...
We don't have to agree.
Democracy.
This one will not be that session.
We are moving. This one is a straightforward conversation.
No.
So, so of course, the term limit issue. The president said that he is the #1 fan of term limits. Well, if he's the #1 fan of term limits, then the first thing he needs to do is make sure that after this he steps down. ECOWAS, they came to Macky Sall, visited Senegal, visited President Adama Barrow, and they had a press briefing with us, the media. They told us that when they went to see these presidents, they told them not to run for a third term. Not only, so if President Adama Barrow is an actual fan, the #1 fan of term limits, he would do the needful, not to run for a third term. Allow somebody fresh to come in, even if at all it's within his party. If he wants, they can have a presidential candidate. Why not? But obviously, there's no legal instrument that currently stops him from running for a third term. And I would, that's his prerogative. He has the right to go ahead and do it. Morally, that's another thing. Whether 3 years, from 3 years to 15 years, is now left for the public to decide. Now, just one more thing, and because I want this to be, let it go around this time, and
I want to finish before.
He talked about corruption.
Yeah.
And
those are the 2 topics I want.
I feel like the president has sugar-coated corruption, right? So when audit reports are done, within the audit reports and within the evidence that comes out from this issue of corruption, there are different varying degrees that are highlighted in these audit reports. Some of them, there is evidence that they can use and go ahead and prosecute people. To be frank, you know me, I will give the devil its dues. In the previous administration, they would prosecute people for corruption. Or they would be very, very harsh on people. And one could say corruption was centralized within the executive and his, structure. But outside, people couldn't do that. Now,
but there was corruption anyway.
There was mass corruption, as the Journey Commission has revealed, that I said earlier.
Okay.
But now corruption is like free for all. Everybody goes for it. Rampant. What I believe this executive should have done, in areas where the audit report is clear cut, that where there are corruption, right, that they go ahead and prosecute those people. Then not only that, the only person that this executive has held for corruption, prosecuted for corruption, they let him go scot-free. Presidential pardon. The same time they pardon, there's corruption, and there is gross corruption. For me, some of them rapists, people who have done very terrible things to young people, giving them pardons in this country. So the executive needs to demonstrate that they are serious about corruption. They are not demonstrating that they are serious about corruption.
President Barrow said there should be proof.
The Janneh Commission has provided enough proof, and not only that, this government has accepted the reports of the Janneh Commission. But what have they done? They went ahead and passed some, legal documentation, gazette. We have them. The pardon of some of those people who they've already accepted the Janneh Commission that they should be banned, like Momodou Sabally, right? He is now a presidential advisor. Njoguba, he is now the head of what? Pura. What message are you sending across? As a president, are you showing that you are serious about fighting corruption, or are you showing that you can even reward people who your government has done a commission, spent millions on? The report has come on. You have accepted that report and the recommendations, and you are now going back, rolling back some of them, rewarding them. You know, this is why the people who support Jammeh can have, something to say. They can have talking points. It's because of the president is giving them this talking point. He is going pandering to the former president. You understand? Huh? What we celebrate is the freedom and that they are not killing, but that's what we are talking about. We celebrate the freedoms that people are not killing and people are not being murdered. But now,
we have answered two questions, not
so
his question.
Give me one more question, let me finish.
Yeah,
so that
corruption.
the gentleman can come. Yes.
He talked about corruption, and he talked about it, why he want to run.
Yes.
And then he also talked about development, this infrastructural and other things he talked about.
Infrastructural development, one cannot deny, within the term of this executive, there have been infrastructural development. Some of them, let's be frank, they started since the previous administration. You okay? So you see something, that's me. I try to be very fair, right? Some of these infrastructural development, you cannot divorce the previous administration from them. So we have to also be very fair on that. But then, infrastructural development, you can see with regards to roads, we've definitely had some roads improved, not only within the greater Banjul, but also now some of them within the rural Banjul area. But we still have a lot of developmental issues. Development is not just physical infrastructure which you see. You need to also have, for example, in our hospitals, it's important to have even good equipment, but how much good equipment do we have? How much medications do we have? You understand? When we talk about education, where is the quality education? The results have been going down, which shows you just how poorly, the development has been. So when you look at the National Development Plan, how much of it has been achieved? These are all things which we need to be very, very mindful of when we talk about infrastructure and development, those two words. But I think I must also add the issue about the diaspora.
Yeah, did he talk about it?
He talked about it. Because Ali Sise asked him about the diaspora being part of the executive, contesting for National Assembly and for other.
Yeah.
For me,
there's no provision.
Those provisions have been removed in the 2024. And some of them were in the 2020.
Draft, yes.
But the president said that his intention, this is the key thing. The president said that his intention was for the diaspora to also be able to contest in these things. But if that was his intention, Lamin, why would some of them be removed from the 2020 into the 2024?
Yeah.
And we are going to write a fact check about this. Hopefully by next week, if you are following Askanwi, we would have issued a fact check on this.
So you mean, he's not been sincere to say he wants the diaspora to be able to participate in the government, yet he maintained the role that discriminated.
He rolled back. I'm telling you that in the 2020, some of those things were removed. Yes. But then now in the 2024, they have brought it back.
Yeah.
So then, how can you say that that is your intention? You see, so I think we need to be very, very fair to the Gambian people. And certainly, economically wise, we are not doing very well at all. Standard of living, cost of living is outweighing people's salaries. They have done a salary increment, which, to be honest, is very good. But this government currently, everybody is saying this government is bankrupt. People cannot pay salaries. Where are they going to?
But this government pay salaries regularly.
Some of these people were institutions right now, Gantel, right? They are not directly under their subvented agency.
I mean, central government, they pay salary regularly.
You see, but look, some of these people, they are not getting their salaries. People are protesting. Right now, Gantel, their staff, they are protesting that their salaries were not paid.
That's a state enterprise.
Yes, but it's still within the executive, the government still has a role to play. Where is their money coming from?
Make money for themselves.
Where is their money? Where is their money coming from? Nawek, is Nawek not the same thing? They are meant to make money. All of these state-owned enterprises are supposed to make money. How many of them are making money?
Yeah.
So you see, but what I'm trying to highlight is, we need to, even though we are increasing salaries, right? You know, Lamin, you have to do the right things at the right time. You talked about corruption. Just yesterday, I was face to face with the the public service and reform minister, Honorable Boy, and I asked him about the 2,100 ghost names in the system.
Yeah, which were said to have been removed.
Yeah, what is going on with that? You see, you have to do the right thing at the right time. Imagine, and he said that they saved about 13 million, if not 31 million,
from that exercise.
When they did that exercise. Now, imagine if they did the right thing, which is to ensure that all these ghost workers are out of there. Continue to save money. That money which you save, Lamin, can you not use that and spread it around and then give salary increment to people? Yeah. But no, you maintain. You still have ghost names. And I asked him to tell us how many ghost names are currently inside this. You're talking about corruption. How many ghost names are currently working inside this government? And that was only done. Let me tell you, man, this is very serious. That was for just 3 ministries. Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Agriculture, and Health. And that's 2,100 ghost workers.
You didn't even come to us.
This is why I asked him. This is why I asked him to tell us how many ghost workers are currently working within the whole government. Now, imagine we did the right thing at the right time of removing all these ghost workers. I'm telling you, if we cannot save $100 million, wallahi, then imagine now that money which we have saved. You can do salary increment. It's making sense now.
You can sustain it.
Is it not making sense? And you can sustain it. This is the thing. This is where I'm coming from. But now, you've done a salary increment, which we all welcome, because of cost of living is very, very terrible. And then you still have ghost workers. Some of them are still there. So now how do we move forward? That's why I said that the president can say X, Y, or Z. But in reality, terms, all what we see are the big SUVs or IC. We all go around this country and we see what is happening. Look at these vehicles. It is something vehicles. And they just had, what, 2-3 days?
2-3 days
in this country. It is something vehicles. How many heads of states came? 5. Look, let's be serious. We cannot be serious. If we cannot say that we are serious about corruption in this country, we are not serious about corruption. This government is rewarding people who are corrupt and putting them in high places, giving them a salary and continuing to have them help them because he believes that they will push his political agenda to give him another term.